Hello everyone and welcome to a long-awaited weapon tutorial that I have been meaning to make since a while ago, but it is time to get on with it. Uh, this is going to be a three-part series for every weapon, so every weapon is going to have three separate videos. The first one I'm going to cover basic movements, attacks, uh, patterns, basic tips. In the second one, I'm going to be showing you guys key skills, things that blend well with the weapon that you're using, like what kind of skills to use, what kind of armor to use. And then the third video is going to be more of a advanced weapon tutorial. So let's get on with it. Uh, as you guys can see, this is title of day 3, so it has been a long time since I wanted to do this, but Omega is a hard monster. Some people are getting the game for the first time due to the Final Fantasy XIV collab event, but without further ado, let's get on with it. So first weapon on this series is going to be the SwitchAxe. It has an axe form and it has a sword form. Now there are a lot of videos outside there covering already all 14 weapons, but I just wanted to do this because, you know, I wanted to get on with newcomers, having them, experience the weight, the feel, everything like that. So first off, as you can see, has two forms, an axe form and a sword form. Both forms have different movesets. As you guys can see on the top right of the screen, whenever you morph, it gives you different attacks. So for controllers, you get the right trigger to morph between modes. You can also morph in to attacks. So it's very fluidly, it's very, I would say, mid to advanced kind of weapon. It's easy to use but hard to master. At least that's in my opinion. So to start off, in axe mode, so you got your basic Y combo or triangle combo in case you're using PlayStation controller. Mouse and keyboard, I don't really know the inputs, so that's going to be something. So the basic triangle combo or first attack combo is going to be the overhead slash, the side slash, and the spiral burst slash. You can repeat these indefinitely. It combos into itself nicely. It's a good way to dish out some good damage. Like, let's say monster toppled, then you go in. That's one way to get damage going. Then have the second attack, which is the B. It's just, straight off swinging. I prefer to use this one when the monster is down, just because it's faster, and the only drawback is that it drains your stamina. Now, if you have forward input on the controller, it will make like a forward slash. This is just, a way to poke the monster from afar, close on distance. Then if you do it with the B, this actually lunges you forward quite a bit, honestly. But from either one, you can start your respective combo. So that's one way to start. I should put, yeah, that way you guys can see the inputs that I'm doing, and then it just goes back in. See, it combos into itself. And then that, phase slash, you pull back into control stick and press B, it will kind of push you away from any danger. So then it has an offset, which is this. Timing is a bit tricky, at least for me. I haven't gotten the correct timing still. Okay, I missed it there. But this one has 2 follow-ups attacks, and yeah, made it did it early. So if you press Y, it will do this overhead smash. If you press the morph button, it will morph into the sword. So you have 2 ways to go into it. And that's pretty much it for axe mode. Although, each attack in axe mode combos into itself. So you really cannot go wrong with axe mode. But before ending, you can see right now that the axe is kind of like flashing, and if you see the meter below the sharpness, it's also glowing. This is actually an amp state for the axe. It will do a lot more damage, and I'm not sure how long it stays active, but you can refresh it with a heavy slam. So how to do a heavy slam: after the wall swing, you just press Y and it will do that, and it will reset the timer for the amp state for the axe. So now going on to sword mode, it also has a gauge that you will guys see that it fills up as I hit, and it also drains the sword gauge. So going to do first the amp states. Okay, so with the amp state of the sword, you can see is steaming up, it's glowing, and every time after every attack there is like a little explosion. And in this state you can also cling into monsters, but it's not really as useful as you think. So when your gauge is empty, if you press to morph, it will refill the partial of your gauge. The gauge will recharge at its own when the weapon is sheathed, or by attacking in axe mode. Okay, now for sword mode, you got your basic Y combo. This one also combos into itself very nicely. Then you also got your E combo, which not doesn't combo into itself. After the Heavenward Flurry, it just, you know, stops for a moment. You cannot go back into it. And then you got your element discharge, where you press Y and B at the same time. Now if you keep tapping Y after this, it will just discharge part of your bar for a big explosion. Now you can also end it early by pulling back, but it will not give you the explosion. Now there is a second something that was added new here in Wilds. Whether you finish the discharge or not, if you press the right trigger, it will go into this Unbridled Slash, which, you know, it's a lot of damage, to be honest. I use it a lot on down monsters. But if you have an amp state, you can actually charge it and it will make a lot of damage. It's easy to create wounds with that attack, and to pop them, it's even more satisfying. So, and there's sword mode also has a counter attack. So if you press R and Y, it will go into a counter stance, if I can time it right. And then this goes into any attack. Unfortunately, you cannot keep counter. You have to either evade or attack before you can counter again. But it's a good way to, like, prevent getting hit. Now, basic combos, you know, like the way that I like to go is I go in, right, close the distance, go wild, then amp up my axe mode, and then aim to fill up my sword gauge. Now once I have both of them filled up, that's when, you know, possibilities are endless. I can just go in, do an element discharge, and then Unbridled Slash. And if there's a wound in the game, in the monster, I will just pop it with this. Also, speaking about wounds, there's a few ways to that the SwitchAxe pops wounds. That is one, which is staying in axe mode all the time. After it pops, it will give you the axe amp. Then there's also sword mode, which, you know, acts the same. And then at the end, you can also do the Unbridled Slash. and it has the same effect. If you have the amp state, you can charge it up. Now let me get an amp state just so that you guys can see. And also, if mid combo, whether you have if you start in axe and press the right trigger, it will swap into sword mode. And in that same sense, if you start in sword mode and you press the right trigger, you will go back into axe mode. Now I do believe you can morph multiple times. Yes, you can morph at least 2 times in the wound breaking animation. Then for aerial movesets, in axe mode you just have the basic downward slash. You can't really. I know there are other weapons that if you press the focus strike button in the air, it will try to pop the wound. I don't. SwitchAxe does not have that one. Then for sword mode, you have your jumping slash, which is, you know, not really as useful. But you also have a morphing slash, whether you are in axe mode or sword mode. And those are pretty much basic combos of the monster. I mean, SwitchAxe. So just to recap, the best way to use SwitchAxe, in my opinion, is to always stay amped. The axe amp state, you can refresh it indefinitely as long as you keep doing the overhead smash or breaking wounds with axe mode. And then sword mode amp state, that's static time. It doesn't change whether you keep attacking or not. You just need to refresh it every time that it finishes. So that was it for the SwitchAxe. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick weapon tutorial. Stay tuned for the other 2 videos of this series, and I will see you guys in the next one.